Guys, we are standing at my craft room door and I am going to show you, holy Toledo, after a season. Now that's my dog's blanket. He's in charge of keeping that clean. But I'm going to show you the mess that I have in this room. And between all of my digging through here to get things that I need for different projects, and just the fact that I've got way more stuff from when I went to Florida to get put away, and I need to organize this thing way better. Way better. I got this. I'm just giving you a quick preview. I hope I'm not going too fast. I have to hold the door, so I've got stuff up there. My material and paper has been in a lot better shape than it is now. And then my laces down below. And boxes and bags full of stuff. I mean, just look at all of this. I mean, some of the stuff is where it's supposed to be, but it's a cluster. It is. It is. It is. It is. I can't even put my I can't even find a spot on the shelf for that because I've got so many other things. That's where my computer's supposed to go. It's piled, what, 8-10 inches high? I mean, this is just flippin' ridiculous. Look at this. Now, some of that is just bubble wrap, so, you know, that's not quite as bad. But look at underneath. Stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff. Yeah, look at all of this. All of this. Just everywhere. Just as messy. Now this up here doesn't get used often. I mean, it does get used often, but it usually is, you know, it's not very messy. Look over here. Here's my cutter and my drawers and my stickers and Christmas stamps and oh my, just a mess. Just a mess. So, I am going to clean and rearrange because I'm telling you another thing that I need to get in here. That I'm going to be using this table more than likely, but I have all of this that needs to get emptied and put away. I've got the box there. And I've got all of this. And I've got, that's my shop in bags. All of those bags, because I've taken everything out of their cubbies. And there's books and boxes full of stuff that need to get put somewhere. This bag full of stuff. Here, look at all of this inside my photo box. And then I have, I mean, that's pretty well organized there. Messy, messy, messy. Oh, all of this stuff. And then I've got boxes underneath there with stuff. And then I've got more Christmas stuff there. Those are empty boxes, believe it or not. And then all of this in here. Oh, I tell you guys, all of this needs to go and get organized and put away. And so this is the beginning, showing you how horrible it is. Absolutely horrible. So, I will bring you in from time to time and show you what I've done. And there's my puppies playing. Are you playing? That's Nikki. Hi, Nikki. And there's Hooch. My little puppy turned into a great big old puppy dog. Hooch, Hooch. I do good boy. Okay, so guys, wish me luck. Wish me luck. We are going to get started on this. There. I cleaned up something. Yay! So we're going to get started on this mess. And like I said, I'll come back and let you see what's going on. All right. Love y'all. I'm going in. Hey, so now that you've seen my really, really, really messy area, and I have so much more that I need to get in than stuff that I'm willing to take out. But I thought I'd talk to you about when you're getting ready to do your space. You know, and you got a lot of stuff. I don't have the time to pull it all out and then put it all back. I just don't. So I do it a section at a time. But the first thing I wanted to do, which I did, and I think you've already seen, or you will see the first step after I showed you all my mess, is get the furniture part moved where you want it. It might have all the stuff you don't want on that piece of furniture, but just move the furniture. Get it, if you can, get it all located where you want it to be. Then you can start thinking about, okay, what am I going to want in my primary workspace? Now, your primary workspace is the space where you create, the space where you take videos, or if you don't take videos, you know, it's just the space that you have fun in and you do your thing. You're going to want, first and foremost, find a place that you can plant your cutter. If you don't have a designated space to plant your cutter where you can just go cut, go cut, go cut, you know, it's going to slow you down. If you got to drag your cutter out every time you want to use it and then put it back down. Now, if you don't have room, it's totally understandable. But maybe you got a tray table and you can set it up next to you and plant your cutter on there, you know? So that's like, because everything you do, you got to cut your paper, right? Everything you do. So you want to really find a good spot for that. And then, of course, all your accoutrements. I love that word. Accoutrements. All the stuff that goes along with your craft, whatever it may be. But you're going to need scissors and glue and, you know, stuff. So you want to find some things that you, whether they're mugs or glass jars or twirly things or a big tote that you can fit everything in. So you want to find that specific space where everything is going to have a nice place and that it's going to be easily accessible. And that's another key, is making everything easily accessible so that your crafting runs smoothly, so that you don't get frustrated because you can't find something. I mean, we all do that. Where's my pencil? How many times have you guys heard me say that? Oh, my scissors, they're hiding from me again. You know, well, if I'd put them back, I mean, I've got so many easy solutions to take care of that, but you know, you can't get rid of everything because we're going to be lazy in our crafting sometimes, or just, maybe not lazy is the word, but we're so focused on what we're doing that the scissors are just going to fly out of our hands and grab up whatever next we need. You know what I'm saying? So find a place where everything has its place before you begin. And then, you know, that will kind of at least get you started in you know, in some kind of well-organized mode. I don't stay that way. And, you know, if you do, that's fantastic. So, and then of course, the surface that you're going to work on, you're going to need to have something, you know, I use my Tim Holtz glass mat. I love it. But, you know, you might have just a, one of those just mats, or a cutting board, you know, like for fabric and things, you know, something, even if it's a tablecloth, a plastic lined tablecloth, you know. So anyway, you got that. And then of course the other big thing is you got to have space or some kind of way to organize the supplies that you have pulled out to do the craft. You know, I'm a paper crafter, so I have a bin that has little sections in it, and I can just put all of my little scrap papers in, my full papers, my blah, 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 you know. But I have a place in my area to do that. So that is your primary, that kind of consists of your primary workspace. Of course, you want to have a comfortable chair. You want to be able to reach what you're working on and that kind of stuff. So you got to kind of think about all those things. Then you got your secondary workspace. Now, if you have a large craft room, your secondary workspace are going to be stations. So your stations are going to be like your die cutting station, your ink and stamp, you know, whatever goes with if you do mixed media, then of course you're going to want to have all of those fun inks and mediums and things like that, all accessible, easily accessible to your primary workspace. But you probably don't want to try and keep all of that in your primary workspace. But you want, you want to keep it nearby. And then you have, if you have a small craft room, then your best bet is probably going to be like having a drawer or a tote or a basket that you can keep everything that you need for that particular thing. Like stamps. If you use stamps a lot, then you're going to want to be able to bring them to you instead of having to go somewhere all the time and find them. I find that the easiest. I want to bring what I want to use to my primary workspace so that I can pick and choose there while I'm sitting in front of my work. And so, you know, if you have the ability to do something like that in a smaller space, I think it's also going to help you in the flow of your creativity. So that's those two, you know, and secondary workstations, your paper, inks, stamps, buttons, lace, ribbon, etc. All those kind of things you need to have. And in my opinion, you need to have all of what you have of that item in that one space. I mean, I keep a little bucket near me that I put little things in. You know, like if I have an extra button, I'll stick it in there. So, but that's not my supplies. You know, that's just kind of like, oh, you know, next time I am kind of wondering what I'm going to get, I might look through that and see if anything excites me. So I always keep a little, just a little thing that I drop tidbits in and stuff. But you want to, when you go to get your buttons, say, do you want to look in 4 or 5 different areas to find your buttons? Now, I keep my Christmas buttons separate, but I still put them in with the bucket with all of my buttons in it. So you can organize within your bucket what you've got, you know, your tote or drawer or whatever. So you can certainly, you know, continue to organize as you go through, which will make everything so much easier. I have Ziploc baggies. I have all my yellow buttons in one, orange in another, brown in another, black in another, you know, so I do have them organized that way. So if I know I'm using a yellow button, I'll grab my buttons down, dig out my yellow bag, and look and see what I want, you know. So, so you can keep going down into more finite types of organization that you want. I'm kind of heading right now the broad picture of having a station for everything. Now, a station could simply mean a tote, or if you're lucky enough to have a space, you know, like I've got all these shelves. I don't have any of my stamps on these shelves because I'm not a huge stamper. So I have a rolling cart, and I keep my stamps on my rolling cart. But I have a bucket that I put my favorite stamps in. I am so sorry. And I know that's kind of just wipes out what I said about keeping everything into one space. But these are stamps that I use when I'm making ephemera. And so I kind of think of these as different. These aren't stamps like I would stamp to make a card. I mean, you could, obviously. But these are stamps that I use when I am crafting and I need to make some pretty thing and I want to put some stamps on it. This pack of stamps that I have is what I make my ephemera with and do stuff like that. So, you know, you can, of course, all rules can be broken or rewritten or changed to suit your needs. And this obviously might not work for everybody. I mean, I'm the type of girl, I like to see everything I have. This room, of course, right now it's an absolute mess, but this room would absolutely drive my girlfriend crazy because Laurel likes everything behind closed doors. She has drawers and cabinets and that's how she keeps things. And when you walk into her room, it's still very bright and inspiring because she's taken the time to decorate and things. And but that's just not me. That's not who I am, but that's who she is. So it's great. It works for everybody. Whatever. You want to label stuff. So if you label it, you're going to remember. Now, me, I know, especially the stuff that's up here over my workstation, I know what's in those. I don't really have to put a label on them. But when it starts getting into having a bunch of totes shoved into my, like this one up here, this tote right here, well, that's all my Christmas stuff. Just kind of excess, large, bulky Christmas stuff. So I know what's in there, but if I were to fill the whole shelf up, I would probably go, oh, which one's the Christmas? So it probably is better to put little tags or something on it. Now, the third section is storage. And these are for your things that you, like me, I like to knit in the wintertime. Not knit, crochet. I never could pick up knitting. Mom tried, but yeah, just not for me. Too many things going on. But I like to crochet in the wintertime because I don't mind having all that weight and everything on me to keep me warm. So I like to have yarn and the needles and all that good stuff, but I use it 2 or 3 months out of the year. And so I have to have a place to put all that stuff. And again, I go for a drawer or a tote or, iris case, whatever works for you. Because I tend to only buy, because I only do it so often, I only buy what I'm going to use. Yeah, so, I on the crocheting and the yarn. So that's not a huge thing, but that's just to kind of give you an idea what I mean on the things that you don't. I have a light box. I don't use it, but maybe twice a year. I don't want to get rid of it, but I need to have a place to store it. So having some storage area for the hardly used things. It can even be just in a big tote that you have out in your garage somewhere, so you just have to, hopefully you have enough room for all the things that you have. You just need to think that there's a significance for stations, for keeping things all together, all like items together, because then you're not going to miss something that you have, because you've got 99% of it here, but you got 1% of it somewhere else, and you never get to use it because it's in a drawer somewhere that you have no clue that it's even there anymore. And I also recommend that every 6 months you start to go through everything. If you've got long-term storage stuff and you date it, you know, okay, last time I used this was November 2021. And, you know, put it on the bag that it's in, or pin it to it or whatever. And, you know, if you go in 6 months and you haven't even thought about it, touched it, put a date on it, you know, okay, I'm not sure if you haven't used it in a year, but you know, it's hard for me to get rid of stuff, because I did a long time ago. I got rid of a lot of my stuff. And then when the kids got older, it was like, man, I wish I would have kept all of that wonderful stuff I had, because it would have been wonderful in like my vintage journals and all of that, because it was a lot of things that I got from my grandmother when she passed. And she was always a crafter. My mom's always a crafter. So, yeah. But so if you do want to downsize as you move along, dating your stuff that you keep in your long-term storage is probably a good idea. Then you don't look at it in a couple years and go, oh, you know, if you don't do the every 6 month thing. Because again, whatever rules work for you is what you need to do, because ultimately you're the one that needs to stay happy and keep the flow of your crafting going. So I have chat way too much. I just wanted to kind of let you know what I'm going to be going into now that I've gotten my furniture all moved where I want it. And I'm starting to pull out things that in the last 6 or 8 months I have, you know, just stashed somewhere, but I don't need it in this room. And I have some designated storage space. There's not a lot of it because I have to do other things. I can't have my entire craft stuff throughout the house. So that would just be too selfish. Which I can be selfish, but so yeah, so let's have fun with this. I hope you guys come along with me. I don't you know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with paper, probably. You know, I never know what I'm going to do. It's wherever the wind is blowing me is where I go. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. But I think I'm going to start with paper. You'll know when you get the first video after this one. And I don't really pay attention to whose paper is what. Now, some people, if you like try and put things in magazines or on guest teams, you know, design teams and things like that, you have to keep certain things separated. So some of the things I'm going to do, you know, aren't going to be helpful for you, but I will show you what I do, and maybe you'll get some tips or hints or, you know, something out of it that, or you'll just get a few laughs with me. I try and entertain. Woo woo. Okay, so that's it, guys. I just wanted to blab at you for a few minutes and take a rest because I'm dying. Yeah. Okay. Love you. Mwah. Love you all so much. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. If you're new and you're just watching this because you love watching stuff on craft room cleanups and things like that, then welcome. Thank you. I hope you'll hit the little button. See you guys later.